And hey everyone, this is Rachel. I didn't plan on being on here long today, but I just watched your president do his little press conference in response to what happened over the weekend in Charlottesville. Now this is his second conference because in the first one he refused to call out the names of those white supremacist groups. Now, since that first press conference, he has been getting a lot of shit from not only the media, but the people in his, in the Republicans and all of them. So he figured he better bring his orange ass back out here and say something else. Now, he did come back on today and he did say the names of those folks. But before he even got started, he had to stand up there and talk about the economy, the stock market, and, brag about how all that is going before he actually addressed, you know, calling out of those groups. Now, what's funny is the people from the White House said that first part, the part that seemed all bizarre or weird to be tacked on to him just simply calling those people out, they said he added that shit in, that they did not write that in, that this is some shit that he added. And basically these folks on the news shows are saying that that's pretty telling. Y'all, what is clear to me is that he don't want to fuck with this sector of his supporters, those white supremacists. He does not want to lose that part of his base. Now, what's funny is his poll numbers are down to like 30 something, and he's still hanging on to these brain dead bastards. Y'all, let me tell you, they are starting to look at those pictures that people took when they were at that damn march, and they are starting to identify some of those damn people that were there with bats, chains, guns, metal pipes, and all that shit, and they calling them out on Twitter. And what's surprisingly, I knew that the guy that was in the car that backed over those people was from Ohio, but y'all, it's a whole bunch of them brain dead bastards that's from Ohio. And before I go on, let me just tell y'all something. Where I live in what's considered central Ohio. And remember I told y'all that this is like a little town. See, I'm originally from Cleveland. And even though this is the state capital where I live at now, it's a little country. Cleveland was I guess back in the day, it was considered, I guess, the Rust Belt, because they had a whole bunch of good factories there. People had a lot of jobs and all that stuff. And Columbus, even though it was the capital, it's a little country here. So on the outskirts, you got all these little towns. And y'all, I remember I used to be at work, and a lot of my white friends used to be inviting me to like cookouts at their houses and they fucking weddings and events, around where they live at. Now, all the time, and I mean all the time, it was never one time that I even considered going. I would always be like, oh, no, thank you. And I didn't make it no better. I would tell them the reason why I wasn't coming is because I'll be damned if they have me swinging from a fucking tree. Now, the reason why I would say that, because they would tell me stories like this. They said that they lived so far off the beaten path in these little rural places that they live, that their street name is actually their last name, because their families have been living on that plot of land for so long, just say their last name was Wisniewski. Then their street name was Wisniewski. They even told me that they could put their kids out in the morning, and they talked about the kids playing down in the holler, and they could stand up on their land and yell out to their kids or ring a bell, and their kids would know to come home. But they could just let them roam all over the property because they live so far out in the fucking country. And that's exactly why Rochelle's black ass was not going over their houses. I was sitting there thinking, wait a minute. You also are telling me that sometimes, you get Wi-Fi and sometimes your Wi-Fi is fucked up. So that tells me that if I'm trying to do GPS away from that motherfucker, that I might have a problem finding my way not only there, but finding my way up out of that damn cornfield. So I never went to any of their shit. Never. But I noticed that, a lot of these people are from fucking Ohio. And you know what? I'm not so surprised because, Ohio is a red state. I just didn't realize how, you know, these people, how deep the hatred is. And a lot of people think that the North is a little better. And some people say that it's not that it's better, is that the white people in the North just blatant. They don't just come out and call you the N word. Well, some of them do, but it's not as blatant as the South, but it's still racism there. Well, this is a good example that it is true. I just, you know, I know when I'm driving my daughter to school, I always stop at this one, um, or I'm driving down to visit my daughter. I always stop at this one rest stop, and I always notice when I'm standing there, or how you're just trying to stretch your legs for a second, that there is this Underground Railroad sign. Now, the first time that we took my daughter down there to Bowling Green, it was me and my son, and they were using the restrooms, and I was just leaning up against the car. And you know how you look over and you're like, is that saying Underground Railroad? So I walk over there. Now I got my camera out, and I take a picture because right around that time when I was walking over there, my kids were walking, coming out the bathroom. So they're like, Mom, what you looking at? Because I'm like on my tiptoes trying to read what's on this thing. And so then we all standing there reading it, and then white people walking past us looking stupid, because the Underground Railroad thing is really big, like the words of it, it's a big plaque, but the writing, you have to walk up closer to read what it's saying. So when my kids were standing there, we were just standing there like, oh my God, once upon a time, where we are standing used to be a stop on the Underground Railroad. And here we are, in the 21st century, with a black mother and her son and her daughter on the way to college. And about 100 or so years ago, one of our ancestors was probably running through the woods over here. And it made us feel funny. And we all put our hands on the plaque and we just said a prayer. And it, even to my son, when we got back in the car, where we were all in a upbeat mood, because it was my daughter's first, time going to college. And we were happy because my baby was going off to school. But it took the mood down a moment, and for about the next 50 or 60 miles, we just talked about, as we were driving along, and there's woods on both sides of the road, the highway, and we're talking about years ago, our ancestors trying to make it to Ohio, and we had just actually been, a place where they may have stopped on the Underground Railroad. Will not may have, because the sign clearly states that this was a stop. And y'all was where, as I don't mean to stop there every time, but it's like it's the halfway point of going down there, and I unknowingly stop. I don't even pay attention to where it is. I just know that it's the second, when I'm driving to Bowling Green, it's the second rest stop on my journey. That's all I remember. I just know that. And 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 on my Facebook page, y'all, my personal Facebook page, and this might sound crazy to y'all, but I have deleted every white friend that I had. Now let me tell y'all, I've been in the workforce for a child, what, the last, I'm to say, 31 years. So over that time I have accumulated a lot of friends. And how you'll be like, what's your Facebook name or whatever. I'm gonna look you up on Facebook and add them. Do you know how long it took me to delete all them motherfuckers? And the reason why I wanted to delete them is because, and let me tell you when I deleted them. You remember when Trayvon Martin um, was killed? I started right after that. I deleted every white person that was on my page, because what was happening is I wanted to talk the way that I wanted to talk, and a lot of these people were business associates, people that I knew from work. And I said, well, first of all, let me get all their asses, because them the only white people I know, y'all, really, was the people that I worked with. So I deleted all of them. And, and what was funny is, so after I thought I had deleted all of them, you know how you get comfortable. It's like slouching back in your chair. And I was just talking my shit. And then one of the white people that I had on my Facebook page popped out the woodwork. And I was like, I thought I got rid of all they white asses, because I had posted something and then about white people. And then this white person jumped out of my woodworks and was like, not me, Rochelle. And you know how you like, oh shit, I thought I had all the white people off my page. So I had to go back through again and say, let me do another purge of these white people. And what's funny is, at the job that I was just at, right now to this day, I keep getting friend requests from these motherfuckers, y'all, trying to be my friends. And you know how you go back to work and they be like, Rochelle, I was on your Facebook page. Didn't you see me trying to be your friend? And you want to say, and did you see me ignoring your ass? That should be a hint to quit asking me. You done asked me 100 times, even when you come to work, and when you ask me that question, didn't I see you, asking to be a friend, and I don't say nothing? I'm standing there looking at you stupid. Is that a hint? Don't ask me no more. Right now, y'all, if I could take a snapshot of my friend requests, it's all these white people that I have worked with or have seen or worked with in the past, and they see me on someone else's page and they like, hey Rochelle, I want to be your friend. And you thinking, why do you keep on asking me that? Um, let me, oh, child, I'm not reading the comments today. Anyway, I just was coming on today because after I watched his press conference, that man heart wasn't in what he said. He could care less. He only came on today because he was getting so much heat that he had to say something, and proof that his heart wasn't in it. You could tell that he was reading this. You could tell that it was read with no amount of empathy for that woman, that 32-year-old woman that lost her life. you know I watched her friends talk about her. Now, she had a mix of black and white friends there. And what they talked about is this girl just being dedicated to standing up for anybody that was being, I guess, discriminated against, whatever the reason. She didn't deserve to die because that person that backed up that car did not do that accidentally. That backwoods motherfucker did that intentionally. He backed up. He saw those people back there. He heard those people back there. He ran over them and then pulled forward or hit some more. And then they said that people were directing him out there. You know, had this been President Obama was known to contact the person's family. And in this case, it was only one family that actually lost a loved one. So it would be just one person that this backwoods, because his simple ass is a fool too, that y'all damn president would have had to contact. And he should have felt comfortable because the person that he would have contacted would have been white, because it wasn't anybody black that was killed. It would have made him even look good calling her. But he could have called that girl's family, that girl's mother, and and given her his condolences. Remember, the person was white, so he should have felt comfortable. He gets on there today. He talked for about 5 minutes, y'all. This is how he was like, "Look, hey, I want to come on here and condemn the Ku Klux Klan." This is how he was talking, y'all. This is how bored and how unempathetic he was, and Ku Klux Klan and any other, white supremacist groups, blah, blah, blah. He talked for about 4 or 5 minutes. He didn't, he said exactly what what they wrote for him. He said no more. Y'all know President Obama would have still been talking. He would have been standing there and talking for about 45 minutes to an hour. He would have took his time, explain the history of racism in America, explain how this country was founded on, a system of racism and all this shit. And y'all, something else I'm gonna get this aggravating me about the news media. I guess y'all could tell I'm on the roll again today. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Yeah, he didn't even take questions. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's aggravating me about the news media being a black person. They keep on saying shit like, this is not what this country stands for. We are a country who believes in XYZ. And every time they say that, I be sitting here like, bullshit. This is a country that is founded on racism. The very soil that we walk on got our ancestors' blood trenched in it. What are you talking about? When I say literally built on, our ancestors built this motherfucker. The reason why a lot of them white people in the South are rich or got them big ass homes is because they are descendants from slave masters, and they are rich because our ancestors slaving in their damn cotton fields is what made them rich. Y'all, I remember I went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I was in St. Thomas, and I remember we were going to do a tour, and we were running a little late, and we missed the tour bus that would take you around the island and talk about the shit. Anyway, we were standing there after we had just missed the tour bus, trying to figure out what we were going to do for the next couple hours, because there was something else that we had a couple hours to kill. So we noticed this black guy, island guy, and he was like, "I see that you missed Mr. Charlie's tour. Would you like to take the real tour around the island?" Because Mr. Charlie's tour, now this is what he was calling it, Mr. Charlie's tour. He was like, "It's not going to tell you the real about this island." So he drives us all around, stops us off at these different places and talks to us. But it was this one stop that I will never forget. He took us to what he said was the remnants of a sugar plantation. And we got out and we started walking like kind of back in the woods. Now we were a little scared because we thought he was leading us to some shit that him and his black ass was gonna get us, fucked up with some island people. But no, he did lead us back to the beginning of the sugar plantation. And he was telling us all the history of it about Christopher Columbus and how Christopher Columbus was a lying ass motherfucker, and that, he had blown through their island first and didn't discover America and all this shit. But when we were standing at that sugar plantation, he was telling us, now mind y'all, anybody who been down to the Caribbean or the US Virgin Islands in August, y'all know how hot it is. Y'all, it was so hot, my fucking sweat was sweating. It was hot, y'all. But he told us how that what I was standing in front of was the beginning of an oven, and there would have been a slave standing there keeping the fire going so they could, I guess, gin this sugar for rum, and that pirates would, bring shit to this island and pick up rum from this island. And I was standing there thinking, my ancestor once upon a time was standing here, you know, toiling in this heat, running through this fucking jungle, all around. Because if you go off the tourist areas in those, on those islands, it's trees and hot and jungles and animals and lizards and shit. And I was sitting there thinking, my poor ancestor. Just it's just sad. A lot of this, the wealth of America was built on the backs of our ancestors, and they kill me talking about we're lazy and go back to Africa. When they tell me that, I say some shit like this: y'all motherfucking asses came to get us. For us to be lazy, y'all went a long way to get our black asses to come over here and work y'all goddamn land. I mean, think about what they're saying. They say we lazy all the way to Africa to get our black lazy asses. I mean, think about that. Who lazy? You went all the way to a fucking another continent to get a workforce because your white ass couldn't stand out in the sun and do what we did. And y'all, another thing that just amazes me, that we don't realize how strong that we are as a people with all the shit that we done endure. Yesterday, y'all, and I think maybe this is why I'm all on the black thing today, I messed around and watched Selma. Now, the reason why I said I messed around, y'all, is because I can't be watching all this shit, because afterwards I'd be pissed in the motherfucker. One day I sat here and watched, what is that movie? 12 Years a Slave and The Butler, back to back. Why did I do that, y'all? I after those 2 3 hours, 3 4 hours was up, I was so damn mad my toes was curled. I was sitting here like, Rachelle, why would you sit up and watch that shit back to back? Think about it, y'all. It was 12 Years a Slave and The Butler. Now, last night I watched Selma, and I didn't even catch it from the beginning. I probably watched about an hour and 15 minutes of it, and that was too much. Luckily, I turned to it right after the Edmund Pettus Bridge scene. How did I get from here to talking about Trump? He just pisses me off. I don't think that it's so much that he even is trying to appeal to his base. I also think that this is how he feels. Y'all know that they said that back in the day, that how he was discriminating against black people there in New York. They wouldn't rent to black people. They said that they got all kind of, you know, proof that Trump's and his father weren't renting to black people. They got rental records. I think that they were sued. If I remember correctly, they were sued. So this is not like this is people. You know, I'm surprised that he wasn't out there with them with a damn tiki torch. And then to show you that these brain dead motherfuckers think they bad now. Them people that showed up to Charlottesville with them goddamn tiki lights and stuff, they didn't have on no sheets this time. You know, they just showed up all bold and all that. So what's happening is, you know, it was a lot of news stations out there, a lot of newspapers and magazines. So what's happening is they're publishing their pictures. Why are these white folk friends? Y'all, what? I can't stop laughing. Why are they friends? Looking at these magazine covers, these newspapers, and saying, "Hey, that's Bob. He had took the day off. They, you know, motherfuckers done took off for work and drove down over the weekend to their damn Klan rally with their damn tiki lights." And why now that the newspapers are being published, their friends are turning them in? Do you know that a couple of these motherfuckers have gotten fired after they attended this thing this past weekend because people are identifying them? They are not doing it. Some of them are doing it intentionally. Like, you know, he worked for such and such. If I was y'all, I would call him. There have been several college kids that their fellow classmates have identified them. One college right now, I think it's the University of Nevada. It is considering whether this one guy that's in one of these pictures, do they want him to come back? Because after, you know, when they first identified him, he kind of doubled down and was like, yeah, that was me. What of it? I'm proud of my white heritage, and then I went down there and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But when his college spoke up and was saying that they was considering whether they wanted him to come back, and y'all know college start August 20, and his college starts August 28th. That's about right, because my daughter actually starts school. Even though she went back last weekend, she actually starts school in about a week or so. Only reason why my daughter wanted to go back is because she's in an apartment, and they wanted to chill in their apartment, get it all set up, you know, before they got to run back to school. This motherfucker school, it's like we're considering whether we want him to come back. Now he trying to backpedal, y'all. Well, that wasn't me that ran over him. You know, I was just down there. No, if you stand firm in what you believe in, why you backpedaling now? You brain dead bastard. And these backwoods stupid motherfuckers. And then this guy that ran over that group of people, even his teachers, the one teacher said that when he started to, now the teacher white said when he realized that this boy had a unnatural fascination with Hitler, y'all, who exterminated all those Jews. But you know, these are these people that don't believe that the Holocaust happened. You know, I had a teacher when I was in the 8th grade that his parents were Holocaust survivors. And I remember, for, you know how you do show and tell, he brought his parents in. And they showed us their number on their arm. His parents met after they came over to America after the Holocaust. You know, but these people literally do not believe that that happened. Child, I'm surprised they ain't saying they don't believe slavery happened, because, you know, how they rewrite history. I'm telling you, when I was younger, my grandfather used to say, think of the word history, break it apart. He said the first part says his, and the second part says story. He was like, that's not our story. That's his story, meaning the white man. He was like, why you not gonna Because I asked him when I had saw Roots. Now this show you how long ago this was. When I saw the first Roots, I had asked my grandfather why wasn't that in our history books. Now I know probably none of y'all are my age. I'm 52. But I remember when I was in school, it was about a page and a half about slavery, y'all. And I do mean like the front of one page, and then the second page was, you know how it's that picture of the slave ship underneath, and they're showing all the slaves packed in. That was the second page. So it was one whole page with some writing on it. And then when you flip the page, it was the slave ship with us packed in, and then underneath it was about, whatever was left on that page to write something on. So I say about a page and a half about slavery. And I asked my grandfather about it. He was like, that's because that's his story, not our story, Rachel. He was like, do you actually think they're going to sit up here and talk about how they raped our women and how they did this and how we built that? He was like, they're not going to tell. Oh, all right, Ebony. Yeah, he was like, they're not going to tell, everything that happened. I just, y'all, I don't want to be one of those people that hates. I really don't. And I used to bop around this world loving everybody because that's how I was raised. And yes, y'all, when I say everybody, I do mean everybody. I loved white people, black people, everybody. Now, I don't mean that I was seeking them motherfuckers out. I just was raised to love. And I used to be the type of person that until you did something to me, um, that's when I would not like you anymore. So I would say I loved everybody. I don't feel that way anymore. It's because life and my experiences out in the world have changed my mind. And I'm going to put it this way: the more that I have worked around them, the more I have learned to hate them. I didn't go into it hating because that's not the way that I was raised. Being around them has made me hate, and I don't even want to say hate because my mother has always, it's so ingrained in me not to hate that I hate to say the word, but just say it's like I don't like them anymore. And it all comes from being in their company at work for the last 30 years. I just can't do it. This man that we got in the White House today is their supreme being. They've been waiting on him or a man like him to occupy the White House for the longest. They thought they had it in Bush, but I think the young Bush, the one that took us into war, the one that was president during Katrina and all that, I think he actually has a conscience. Because think about it. All this shit that was going on when President Obama was in the office, and they would try to get him to talk about President Obama, and he refused every time. He would not. Matter of fact, he kind of slunk out of the limelight. He didn't want them fucking with him at all. I think that when he got out of office and he looked back on all the shit that had happened under his administration, Katrina, him taking us into war, them phony ass weapons of mass destruction. I think he probably sitting there somewhere saying, please don't let them bring up my goddamn name, before they start on my white ass. I cannot stand Trump. The next, okay, they say he been president 6 months, y'all. That means we got 3 years, 6 months, 22 days. No, I'm just joking. 14 hours, 22 minutes, and 13 seconds. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. I don't know how down to the last day. But even when he come on television, don't when you look at him, you want to slap him upside his fucking head. That's how much I cannot stand him. I don't know why these people on television are acting surprised that, and his family pimped are in the White House pimping it. I don't understand. Also, too, y'all, let me tell y'all something something else that I find kind of now, as y'all could tell, in my old age, I'm starting to become a kind of a conspiracy theorist. Also, one of these people, now I'm not going to say a conspiracy theorist because I'm definitely not that, but one of those people that really, really, you know how as you get older, you where you might have went to church when you was younger and Sunday school and all that stuff, but as you get older, you love you some God because you done been through some shit and you start quoting shit. Well, I remember when mama said such a, you quoting shit from the Bible and you mean that shit. Y'all, do y'all know his son-in-law, Jared? Do y'all know the address of the building that his family used to own was like 666 Park Avenue or something? I was like, who would even want to buy a building with an address 666? The address, but I guess it was prime New York real estate, but the address was 666. I even was like, no, you know, you'd be like, people was taking this hate of the Trump family too far. This address wasn't 666. So I Googled the shit. I was like, well, let me look. The Kushner building. Oh my God. And then when it came up, I said, it is 666. Everything about Trump is just, it scares me for us how far this could go in the next 3 years, 22 days, 15. It just scares me. And I don't I don't think people are fighting back. I think that especially our people, and I hate to say it, y'all, a lot of us don't pay attention to nothing unless it's with these damn reality shows, these celebrities, these little bubblegum ass celebrities. Uh let you ask what's going on with Beyonce. They can sit up and talk about it for the next 2 hours. But I mean, anything about what's happening in the world today, they people will say stuff like, I don't even really watch that kind of stuff. I don't even pay attention to it. Y'all, you might not pay attention like somebody like me who's into it and who be cussing at the television. But my daughter is only 21 years old, and even she like contact me, and you know, I'm not saying call because none of these kids actually pick up the phone and call you, but she might text me and say something like, Mom, what are they talking about when they, like, she'll ask me a question about something that's going on and I'll be like, oh, she watching this? You know, I'm surprised that she's watching it. And it's not because I sit up and chit chat with her about it, because I didn't really think that she would be interested in it. Now, my 30-year-old son, you know, I would expect him to catch a newscast every once in a while. But my 21, she's 22 now, 22-year-old daughter, to be posting stuff on Facebook and, you know, they just aware. And it might be, I don't know, maybe it's because she's in college and maybe they're talking about it on campus or whatever. But I got some family members, y'all, that are my age and older. Let me just tell y'all this. Do you know that I have a family member that, I don't remember if it's the first time no, it was the first time that President Obama won. The first time. They told us that when they went in there to vote for President Obama, they just pushed President Obama's name and they left. Like they didn't vote for anything else. They just kept hitting, I guess, enter until they got to the last screen where you could submit your ballot, but they didn't vote for anybody else. They didn't vote for any people in Congress in it, their local issues. So my mother was telling them, like when they told my mother was like, wait a minute, when you went in the booth, you only pushed for Obama, you didn't Like when they were saying, who do you want for your representative? Who do you want? You didn't vote for any of that? And the person was like, no. And then my mother was like, you didn't vote like in your local election, your levies and your issue 2, issue 3. No, I didn't. Look, I only went in there to vote for the president. So my mother was like, well, how do you think the president can do his job if you don't give him a Congress and a Senate and local politicians and all that? And then my mother was explaining that means the president is out there on the limb by himself. And y'all, what's funny is that is exactly what happened. Remember when President Obama first became president? He didn't have nobody to help him. He had the Senate. You remember when he was giving his first speech in the Senate, they was like, you lie. Well, my aunt, oh God, I shouldn't have said who it was. Well, never mind. She know her dumb ass didn't vote right. My mother's sister, since it's all out, and I hope she watched my damn video because I ain't speaking to her right now or one of my mother's brothers. But anyhow, her dumb ass, and this woman is about 6 years older than me, 5 or 6, only voted for the president. She didn't push nothing else. Y'all, how I didn't even know that the voting thing would just let you keep hitting enter after you vote for one thing and just go all the way to the end. I didn't even know. And then my mother told her that it might, because of what she did, her ballot may not have been like, what if it voided out her ballot because she didn't vote for anything else? I don't know. She's simple. The point I was trying to make is we got a whole bunch of people, of our people, that's not paying attention to nothing. And of all the minority groups, we, since I'm not going to say we on the bottom of the rung, because I think Mexicans might get us beat, y'all. Everybody hate Mexicans right about now. They don't want them in the country. See, they know they can't get rid of us, but they trying to prevent these Mexicans. But I think that our people, we need to be paying attention. And also too, we got a lot of power that we don't realize that we have. And it annoys me that we don't use it. When I was younger, y'all, I didn't think about none of this stuff. I don't know. I think being off this last year, and also I've never watched this much television in my life, but because I have been off work on this long-term disability for over a year now, I'm watching so much television. It's not even funny. Child, I could be doing the news every night, y'all. That's how much television. I could come in here on YouTube. This how much shit I be watching on the news all during the day. I could come in here on YouTube in the morning, give y'all a 30-minute news broadcast with weather too. I come in around noontime. No, because the local news do it in the morning around 6 and then 11. I give y'all all three of them newscasts. That's how much shit I've been watching here lately. But in a little bit, that's something else I should be telling y'all. I'm gonna be going back to work, because if I don't go back to work, it's gonna be I can't take it anymore. Let me just tell y'all what they're trying to do. When you be on disability for a certain amount of months, they file for, and I'm just on long-term disability from my job. Even though the bastards fired me while I was on short-term disability, they still had to pay for me to be on long-term disability. So when you on it for a few months, the long-term disability company makes you file for, is it SSI? Is that disability? Social Security disability? I don't know. Social Security disability, y'all know what I'm talking about. So after I had been on this for 5 months, I believe it was, they made me file for Social Security disability. Now here's the thing. Even though young people think 52 is old, I'm not old, y'all. I don't want to be sitting back waiting on a check every month for the rest of my life. Really, I'm not supposed to be retiring till I'm about 65 or 68, which I still got, about 15, 16 years to go. So I don't want to be sitting at home working. Now, to show you how some of my friends are, they like, girl, sit home and get that check. You can go and get a little penny ante job. And, because Social Security lets you work, get that Social Security check, and then just go get a little job and to supplement your Social Security check. First of all, I don't want to be that person waiting on no check, y'all. This is not fun. That means that I went from a certain income to now where you earn what they call a fixed income. Fixed because you only get the check once a month. So yeah, it's real hard to get. Is it SSD? It must be SSD. All I know is it's Social Security disability. Now they already done denied me one time. I was good. Do you know the damn long term disability company? It's like, well, we filed an appeal. I was like, what? Y'all filed it the damn they was like, and then they're telling me that I gotta go with them to appear in court to appeal it. They assigned an attorney to me. Now this is my long-term disability. I guess if I wanted it, yeah, Social Security disability. I guess if I wanted this Social Security disability, this little long-term disability company I got is really good because they called the advocator group. If any of y'all need them, because they said that, do I know anybody else this that's disabled that might need their services? They're called the advocator group. Anyhow, they applied for Social Security for me, Social Security disability or whatever it's called, which I'm gonna tell y'all now, I still have not been released back to work by any doctor. Every time I go to the spine doctor, when the bastard tell me that I should be okay, I keep telling him, then why you got me on this medicine that if I don't take, then I'll be shrunk up like a fucking I don't know. Y'all, they done did surgery on my spine in April of 2016. My I've hurting like I never even had the surgery. So take it as it is. I had a what is it? A anterior cervical fusion. What is it? This, let me say it again. Anterior, wait a minute, it's ACDF, anterior cervical discectomy with fusion. That's the name of the surgery that I had. Just put it this way, the shit ain't work. So I have not actually been released back to work. But here's what I'm saying. I can't take it. First of all, I can't take getting no money just once a month. I can't do it. Now, my disability company, after I was on it for a little over a year, they said, oh, you can work. You could have been working. I was like, what? Why y'all didn't tell me that before? Because if they had told me that, I would have been working all this time. They told me that I can make an additional $1,100 a month on top of what they paid me. Even that, I was like, you know what? I don't want their money. I just want to go back to work. So y'all, when they told me that a couple weeks ago, I put my resume out there. Now, what I did is I do not want to do the job that I was doing before. Now, I think I did a video about this. I told y'all that I was the person that you call. I was a patient care advocate at an insurance company. I was the person that when you were having a catastrophic illness, say you had cancer or like MS or something like that, and you needed someone, you were having problems with your insurance, with your claims, your doctor's office, your this, whatever. I was the person that you would call at your insurance company that would help you. You call and tell me. I gave an example like this. There was this lady that had called me one time. Only reason why I helped her to the ends of my abilities is because she was black. And I know that sound bad, y'all, but when some of my brothers and sisters would call, I would work for them beyond, you know. But she called me, and for some reason she could not get, she had a double mastectomy or whatever. But anyway, she couldn't get her bras. I think what happened is she had gotten her bras, like her insurance had allowed her to get maybe 4 bras a year. And something had happened to those bras. I can't remember what it was. So she didn't have them anymore. She called me crying, and she was like, I don't have any breasts. And I'm embarrassed to go out because her bras made it look like she had breasts. So I checked her insurance, and they said no, she got to wait till next year. She already got the ones that, you know, she's supposed to get, and she can't get any more to next year, no exception. So when I got back on the line and told her, she started crying, and she started crying really bad. And she, you know, she was saying, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this to me. And she was like, ma'am, I'm not mad at you. I know that you're only doing, you know, what my insurance is telling you to do, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. And she was like, do you know what it's like to be a woman with no breasts? And now I don't even have the bras that make me look like I have breasts, and I've been going to work like I got breasts, and nobody knows that I had a double mastectomy. So I said, you know, I was saying my little thing, I'm so sorry, ma'am. But and she got off the phone, but it bothered me. Now, by my job standard, I had done everything that I was supposed to do. I called her insurance. The motherfucker said they not paying for them. I called around to a couple places to see how much they were. They said them bitches was over. One bra was $200. She said she didn't have even enough for one. So what I got to doing is I just got to calling around. I went to our nurses that we had on staff, and I was like, look, I got this situation. I really want to help this lady. Every time I try to get her out of my head, I just can't. Is there anything that you can do to help me? The people at my job was like, you know, we're done, basically. They said, Rachel, maybe if you call the American Cancer Society, maybe it's something that they can help her with. So I called the American Cancer Society, and they were like, I explained the situation, and they was like, yes, we can help her. And I was like, what? And they was like, yeah, we can help her. And I said, well, right now, I think the bras that I was finding was like between 200 and $250 for one. They said that they can get her bras for $35. And I was like, oh my God. They also said that, you know, they can connect her with some people that may be even able to help her get some for free. So I said, before I call this lady back, you know, I just want to make sure that, because I don't want to give her false hope. Are you sure that she can get some bras for $35? Are you sure that she can get some for free? And this lady was like, we do this every day. Yes, I'm sure. This is just like you're doing your job, this is my job. So I said, okay. I said, can I stay on the phone? Because, you know, when I call her back, you know, we have to stay on the phone to make sure that what we told them y'all can do for them, that y'all are actually doing. So I called the lady back. I kind of give her a little bit of it. And I said, I think I found you some help. I wait till I get her connected with the American Cancer Society, and I asked them, are they on the phone? Is she on the phone? She says yes. They say yes. So I said, well, I wanted to make sure we were all on the phone, and I explained to the lady what they could do for her. And then afterwards, you know, she called my boss and was going on and on. Now, look, I explained all that to say this. I don't want to do none of that no more. When you are working for other people all day, every day, like you got a problem and you calling me, it drains me. When you get off the phone, you're happy, I've helped you with your problem, you good now. all that, day after day, year after year, at the end of the day, when I would come home, I would be drained. It got so bad that when my daughter was little, now y'all, this is bad. When my daughter was little and I used to pick her up from daycare, and I used to tell her that she had a, how many questions did I tell her she could ask me? I think two. I said, you got a 2 question limit. And if you ask me how was my day, that's one, because I had been answering questions all day, solving people problems. You got motherfuckers cussing you out all day, and so I don't want to do nothing like that. So the jobs that I apply for now, my friends think I'm stupid because the work that we do, you can make a lot of money. And I said that I don't want to do it. If it, Now this is how I feel, y'all. I don't have no kids. I don't have any young kids. My kids are grown. So the amount of money that I needed to make when my kids were at home, I really don't need to make that anymore. I'm good. Long as my bills are covered, and I can buy some of the things that I want, and all of the things that I need, I'm good. So I told them that to do a job that I actually like doing, I take a massive pay cut if every day I could go in and I actually enjoy what I'm doing. And I mean that so much, y'all. Let me tell y'all, this past weekend, well, that last week, I already accepted a job. Well, two. I just don't know which one that I'm gonna keep, which one I'm gonna go to. But it is way less than what I was making. I don't even give a damn. And I know last week Etna called me for a job. I maybe shouldn't even be saying this, but I don't give a damn. I turned their damn job down. They were they was blowing up my phone, and you know how you like, you know what? I mean, it sounds good. The money is good. The benefits are good, but it's right. It's like jumping back into the frying pan. I told my kids, when I told them I turned it down, they were like, "Mom, are you sure?" And my son was like, "You told us you wasn't playing when you said that you rather make a lot less." I'm at the point where fuck that. I'm not about to go to work every day, and every day I come home, I want to fucking drink. I don't mean like just a drink. Now I don't even drink, y'all, but every day I will come home, I didn't just want to drink. I wanted to get fucked up. Where drink till you unconscious till it was time to go to work the next day. Do y'all know that sometimes when I the job that I'm actually got fired from when I was on disability, that when I would come home sometime, you know how you come in, you go upstairs, you got your purse on your shoulder, and you just sit on your bed for a moment. Do you know that I would do that maybe 3 times a week, and then I would wake up and it would be 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, meaning that I would be so wore out. I would just come in and think I'm gonna sit on my bed for a few minutes. Next thing I know, it's 3 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm up in the middle of the night packing my lunch, taking the shower, taking my damn clothes off, taking the shower. So I said, y'all might walk into Walmart and see me as a greeter. How you doing? How's your day? You need a cart? I might be, let me think of some of the job. I might be working at the hospital in the gift shop. You looking for some balloons? This me blowing up some balloons. Now this the type of jobs I've been looking for. Hold on, what else? What else will I do? My kids was when I first told them this, you know how you always been the one in their life that kept the roof over their head. This is after I got divorced and everything. You're the one that took care of them and everything. So when I told them that hell, they might look up and I'd be working at Walmart, they was sitting there looking at me like, what, as a manager or something? And you'd be like, no, I might be on no, the register is too much. I might be the greeter to give you the cart. In other words, y'all, I don't want no job that I have to be thinking too much. And that y'all heard me right. I said thinking too much. I don't want a job that I'm solving nobody's problems. I don't want a job that I got to talk too much. What else? I don't want a job that I have to be explaining shit to people. Y'all, do you know that on one time I was on the phone and this lady called in, and God forgive me, the lady was 90. I know, no, she was in her 80s, and she wanted to learn how to sign on online to complete her, like, you know how when it's time to to do your benefits for the new year, you're at your job, it's, they ask you, do you just want to keep the benefits you had last year, or you want to change something? But you can either do it, with the paper they hand you, or go online and do it. Well, this 80-some-year-old woman, she wanted to go online. You Lord forgive me for what I'm about to say, but the bitch didn't know how to do it. So she calls me. First of all, she needed to understand how to log in. Y'all, when I tell you that her call, now listen, all she didn't want me to help her fill out her benefits and nothing. All she needed to know how to do, listen closely, y'all, to what I'm saying is, all she needed me to teach her how to do is how to log in. Do you know how long I was on the phone with her? A fucking hour and a half. An hour and a half. I was on the phone with her so long that when I got off the phone, I went, and I'm a smoker. I went downstairs and chain smoked for like 20 minutes. I was like, fuck this shit. I quit. I was like, a fucking hour and a half? The teach, and I kept on telling the lady, y'all, I wish I would have had this YouTube channel when I was doing this stuff. I kept on telling the lady, you know how you're trying to be nice, ma'am. This is not my work voice, y'all. The voice that I have on YouTube. Of course, y'all know I wasn't at work talking like this, but I was sitting there like, ma'am, you know that you don't have to log on to do this, since you're not changing anything. You don't gotta, in other words, miss, you ain't got to do this. Why are we still on this phone for an hour and a half? Y'all, everybody at work, I'm funny. Everybody at work, because I kept on muting the lady. Like I was, because my friends were looking at me like, Rochelle, you've been on that call a long time. What's going on? So I was muting the lady and explaining to my coworkers around me what was going on. I said, if I stay on the phone with this lady one more minute, y'all, I'm not lying. I'll be running through the halls butt naked at work. I'm gonna be screaming. I'm gonna go off the edge. They was cracking up. So the whole point I'll try to make, y'all, is Rachel do not want to have a job that's a lot of responsibility, I guess. I'm cool on making a big salary. I know that, and this may be just for now. Like, this may be something maybe for a year or so, till I build my stamina, my whatever back up, to really shoot back out there in the work world. What I do know is I can't work. I can't be getting no check. I just can't. For one thing, my bills are still what they were before I ever was fired. And you know how you be like, if I cut any more, because like my son was like, well, mom, why do you need all these cable boxes? Why do you need to get this, and you need cut to this off your phone? You know how you be thinking, if I cut any more, I might as well just get me a tent outside and be living outside. I'm not cutting no more. I just need to go get a job. But I got a lot of friends that are like, get the check, especially at my age. They're like, Rachel, I think I wait around for the Social Security disability, and doesn't that take from what you get when you get older? Like, if I start getting Social Security now, doesn't that mess me up when I get old? I don't know how it works, because I know I'm just going to get me a job. I don't even know how I got on this, y'all, but That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm going back to work. So in the next week or two, I done had went and done drug tests, what all else? All kind of online tests. They make you do a lot for this shit right now. And I was like, so I gotta go do a drug test to do this job? They was like, yes, ma'am, you do. And then the lady damn near came into the stall with me. I was like, I understand why you're doing it, because a lot of these young folks be having folks peeing for them and all that stuff. But this is a little ridiculous. But it's whatever. And because I applied for so many jobs and got called, and in other words, was going to accept a couple of these. I've done a whole bunch of drug tests. I wish I could tell them, I just did drug tests for this other job. Once y'all split the P and, share it or whatever. But that's where I am. So I already wasn't doing YouTube videos anyway, and only because YouTube won't let me upload my videos. I don't think I would have done this hangout today if YouTube was letting me upload my videos, but I refuse to sit up here and talk about Trump for 20 minutes and then go to upload it and YouTube won't let me upload. I don't know, getting back to him, y'all, I don't know where we're going to be in the next 3 years. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Now I just sat here and talked about that I'm taking a job at Walmart as the greeter. It ain't that bad, y'all, but it's way less than what I. Even after I said it, I was like adding up my bills, like 23, 24. Okay, all right. If some shit go a little left, I'm gonna be fucked up. But I'm happy. When they was this, I literally don't even mind working even maybe, no, I'm not gonna say that because that means you gotta stand on your legs. So I was gonna say I would love to work in a clothing store. I want to do some shit that I never did before. I just want to do a job that's what I consider fun. It may not be fun to someone else, but what I consider fun. I just can't be solving people's problems all day. Have any of y'all ever worked in those type of jobs where, like, either in customer service, or because anybody that's worked in customer service know what I'm talking about. You'll be wanting to fuck somebody up at the end of the day. It's been a couple times that I've been at work that I literally at my purse and was like, you know what, is this worth it? One job, when I used to work for Medicaid, I actually quit them. Y'all, one day I went to work and I had already been feeling like I hate this job. I hate these people that I work with. See, you can have a job that you actually hate the job, but you like the people that you work with. So it makes it not so bad to go to work. But when you hate the job and the motherfuckers you work with, y'all, I went to work. I had told my kids, I said, y'all, we gonna have to tighten the belt the next few months. They was like, what? Now my kids always pee because they know that if I don't like a job, I'm out. So they was like, why, mom? I said, because look, I'm about to go to work and get my 2 weeks notice. They was like, you just can't. I was like, no, I just can't. And so they knew when I went to work this Friday, I was giving my 2 weeks notice. Now, y'all, that was the plan. So I went to work. And I was feeling good that day because you know how you be like, I only got 2 more weeks at this motherfucker looking at you people. I went to work and I sat down at my desk, set my lunch up there. I was looking around at those people. I was like, I can't even do 2 weeks. And then I was thinking, matter of fact, I can't even make it through the day. So I had just sent my resignation letter to my boss. And literally probably by the time she got the ding in her email, I had walked over to her desk. Now, thank God I had a black boss. And I went up to her and I said, look, girl, I know I just sent you my resignation letter giving you 2 weeks notice, but I ain't gonna be able to even do the 2 weeks. She was like, she started laughing because see, she knew how I was. She was like, you can't. I said, no. Mm-mm. She said, Rachel, you know you might not be able to use these folk as reference. I said, I don't care. I really don't even care. I said, I'll work it out. I know how to talk my way through an interview, my next interview after this job. And she was like, well, how long you think you can make it? Like, you talking about quitting today? I said, girl, I ain't even working till 5. I said, look, I'm going to be leaving in the next 10 to 15 minutes. She was like, what? Why you even come here today? I said, I don't even know. I don't even know why I even came in this motherfucker. And y'all, it was about 10:45. I said, well, what I do, I told her, I said, is I try to stay to 12, but after that, I'm leaving. I'm out. So my boss, she had pulled me into this little conference room. Now like I said, she's a black girl. She said, now professionally, I want to, tell you that this is not a good idea. But girl, she was like, now personally, between me and you, girl, I know that's right. She said, I might be leaving here right after you. See, that's one thing that I like about working around black people. You can be yourself. Like when you work around a whole bunch of white people all day, you find yourself having to put on this mask. But even if you work around a lot of white people, but there's some black people in the building, I always go find them. So it could be times of the day where I can put down the mask and be my fucking self, because that's too much all day to be trying to put on the mask. So to have this black boss, I loved it. I loved her to this day. I love her and I love the job. I told her the only thing I hated the job, but I loved her. I said, the only thing that makes me not want to leave this place is you. I really like you. And she said, oh, thank you. I said, but I will still be leaving this motherfucking day by 12. She laughed so hard. This girl, because I was actually older than her, she laughed so hard. She couldn't get herself together to go back to her desk. Every time she went to walk out the door, she said, girl, you are crazy. I said, why do you say that? She said, you just sent me something saying that you was going to work 2 weeks. She was like, I just was opening your email and you ran over here and was like, don't even read that. I said, I guess so. Y'all, at 12 o'clock, right before I was about to leave, like at 12, I sent the email out to like the team that I was on. I was like, today is my last day and I'll be leaving in 5 minutes. All the black people, I was walking out to my car. They was going to lunch. They was like, Rachel. They was catching me in the parking lot, walking out the building. They was like, girl, you quit like that? I said, yes. They was like, well, when did you know you was quitting? I said, last night. They was like, well, you came to work today and you didn't give them 2 weeks notice. I said, I did, but I couldn't do it. Y'all, so that just go to show y'all that I am a mess, crazy mess. And my friends think so too. I think what it is when you get to a certain age, you be like, fuck it. I must say what, like at work, I'm that person at work. You know how everybody be talking about what they gonna say when we have a meeting? Then when we get in the meeting, they don't say nothing. I'm your friend to be sitting there like, now my friends used to hate when I do this. I know y'all gonna be tripping when I say this. Okay, you know how your friend be talking shit? Like, when we get in the meeting, I'm gonna tell these white people. So, or it could be your white friend. I'm that friend to be like, we'll be in the meeting, and you know how right before the meeting about to end, your boss will be like, is anybody have anything to say or any questions? And nobody will be saying nothing. And that person be like, well, Mary, did you have a question? My friends would be like, Rachel, or I'm also that person at work. You know, when it's time for your annual review and your boss takes you into a room and y'all sit down and talk, my boss used to say mine to the last, because she knew that when she took me back there, everything, because I feel like those are a bashing session to bash you out of a raise. So since this has happened to me over the years, you'll start off getting a raise. Now, the reason why I said it's a bashing session is because they bash you out of how much you're going to get. Say you went in there thinking you were going to get $2. By the time they get finished talking about what all, I thought that was my son, y'all, what all you did or did not do, when you walk out of there, you might be getting 27 cents. So because this has happened to me over the years, now I've had sessions where I went in and it went better than what I thought. But most of the times you go in there thinking you did a good job this year. And by the time they get finished talking shit, you be like, no, these motherfuckers didn't give me a nickel. You know, you be like, now I've had jobs where you just get cost of living increases and then you get your merit increases. But in most of the jobs, you just get your regular increase. So what I would do when I went in there is I was like, when I would watch my other friends go into there and they would be out in about 15 minutes. My shit, I used to be in there for 2 hours. I used to be thinking, if you're going to talk shit, then I'm going to be talking shit too. So like we would be sitting there and then they would be like, well, Rachelle, on this measure, we don't feel that you did this, that, and the other. And I just, you know how they had tell you to explain shit. I used to be telling her, explain, because this is what I felt I did. And then I would, by the time we left out of there, I would have them tripping over their words. Now I would tell them going in, I know when this is over, you're going to give me what you felt. Nothing I say in here is going to change. In other words, I would let them know that I knew when we walked in the door, they already knew how much they were going to give me. I don't even know why we sitting here doing this. Y'all know that when y'all go in y'all review, there's nothing you going to say is going to make them change it. If they was only going to give you a nickel when you walked in, um when you walked out, it wasn't like you was gonna get no quarter. So while she was in there, I was gonna work her fucking nerves. Y'all, I used to be there. My friends used to be cracking up. They'd be like, Rachelle, why you don't leave that woman alone? They was like, when she come out, her face be all red. I said, why she don't leave me alone? So, and it's not that I'll be in there. I just don't agree. Like she'll say something, and I'll be like, no, I don't. Like you know how they'll say, do you agree? No, I don't. Make her explain everything that she said. Like if she was like, well, we don't feel that you're meeting the the measures on this. I was like a 2-year-old kid. You know how 2-year-olds always say, like when she would answer one question, I'll be like, the next question, the next thing I'll be like, why? Because why should I have worked a whole year thinking I'm doing a good job? Because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. Y'all find motherfuckers left and right. So if I wasn't, it just kills me how some of these jobs are. And after you've been out here in the workforce for so long, you realize that it's pretty much a game, and proof of that is when I worked for that black boss that I told y'all that I quit the job. When I would have my one-on-ones with her, we would be in there talking about well, it's your annual review, I should say. We'd be in there talking about our kids and our men, and this was my boss now, y'all. She was a manager, not a supervisor. She was a manager of a whole department. So one day after being there a while, I said, when we come in here, we don't ever talk about my work and whether I'm doing a good job or is it anything else you need me to be doing. She let me get finished. She said, Rachelle, if you wasn't doing a good job, you wouldn't be here. She was like, and if it was something else that I thought that you needed to be doing, she said, I would tell you. She said, what it is they give me, I have to sit and talk to each one of y'all for about an hour. She was like, so since I don't have nothing to say to you, but I do need to talk to you an hour, she was like, talk about our kids and shit. And I was like, oh. And she was like, and then I'm gonna give you, she said, the last 10 minutes, I'm gonna give you this paper that says that I think you're meeting all your such and such. You're gonna sign off on her, and both of us are gonna go back to our desk. And I was like, oh, okay. So that just showed me that all that damn talking that they're doing when you go to those one-on-ones, because I would ask the black boss, I said, so am I getting a raise? And she was like, yeah, girl, you're getting your raise. And I was like, well, can you tell me how much? And then she would be like, well, you getting, because you know, they don't tell you the dollar amount, they'll say the percentage amount. So I would be like, oh, and then I'd be like, hold on before we get to talking. And I'll be like getting out my phone and going to the calculator part to making sure that the raise she told me, because while we in here, if you talking about 20 cents, you know, I wanted to make sure. But that made me see that all that shit is a crock, because with this black boss that I had, she basically told me that. She was like, no, when we come in here, you know, no, you know, some jobs you talk to the person for about 15 minutes and you tell them what their raise is going to be. She was like, the type of jobs we have, you know, you got to do all this shit. And you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, that's why I said that. Now I pretty much might be a Walmart greeter, y'all. That seems that it would be less stressful. When I walk in, they be sitting in a little chair. When you leave, they check your bag. If it look like some shit, you know, it couldn't fit in the bag, they just check to make sure it's on your receipt. And look, I'm not gonna be chasing motherfuckers through stores outside this shoplift. If you want to shoplift, no, I'm just joking. I ain't gonna be no Walmart greeter, but it's gonna be something just a little bit more strenuous than that, because I just I don't know if it's anybody out there else that kind of understand what I'm talking about. Like I've had to explain this to my mother, my siblings. They be like, "What? You gonna be doing what?" Honestly, I I I just want to work, but I don't want to work hard. Does anybody else out there now? I'm not like a teenager. I've put my time in over the last 30 something years. I just can't see killing myself or working no job where when I'm coming home, I'm stressed to the point where I feel like my hair is actually receding into my damn head, because I feel like my brain is mush. Do any of y'all know like what I felt like that, where you say, you know, I want to work, but I just don't want to be stressed when I go to work? What she said, the cable news network recycle the same news story. Oh, okay. Is anybody with me? Do y'all get what I'm saying? I don't know. Well, I finally got my kids to um to understand. They pretty much get it. Uh, other one of my brothers gets it, and the other one not so much. But who cares? He's not paying my bills anyway. So, um, uh, I'm gonna still be doing my YouTube videos. And actually, another reason why I don't want to be all stressed out is because I guess some of y'all know that I make candles. I did a video about them one time, and I know what, and I did it. I made the candles for enjoyment. I do it because I actually enjoy doing it, and I wasn't doing it so much to sell them, because actually when I first started making them, I used to be giving them away, until this one boy at work was like, you know, you need to be selling those, Rachel. So, but now I would love to do that for a living. So I had even thought about, you know, because when I had the other job, sometimes on the weekend I'd be so wore out, I didn't want to make them. I didn't feel like making them. So that's why I said I want a job now that's not so demanding, where I could still do to that part of me that's creative in doing that. I guess. But yeah, y'all, I didn't not even intend on coming on here talking this long. I was just on here talking about y'all president. And every time when I come on to these hangouts, I always be asking folk, do they want to join in? And it's like everybody be scared, or either I don't think first used to see the hangouts. I didn't I don't know if I used to join in either. But eventually when I saw how they worked, I would jump in and say something. But y'all do know that like uh, the link that I put, I'm pretty sure y'all know how hangouts work. You know, you could click on the link and you actually could be talking to me and I could actually be talking to somebody. But I think y'all just like to hear me just ramble on like I'm a mad woman. Now y'all know the other day after I did the hangout, when did I come on here before? Saturday. After I listened to it, I had to cut it off. I said, Lord, if I don't sound like a fucking raving lunatic, I sound like I was like speeding or something. In real life, I am not. I don't know who this person is that I become when I turn on this damn computer and come on here. I am a quieter person. I am now I like to be funny. I like to laugh. I don't know if any of y'all from Cleveland, but I got this but people that's from Detroit, you know, they know this. We got this Midwestern sense of humor. And then I think it's a Michigan, Cleveland thing. They know what I'm talking about. Things that we might think is funny, other folk might not think is funny. Like when that lady went up to Walmart and got her ass whooped, and her eye was black, I thought that shit was funny. So I know nobody else might not have thought it was funny, but to this day, and I probably worked at that job probably like 10, 12 years ago. To this day, when I think of her coming back with both her motherfucking eyes blacked, her purse gone, her ear, you know, when you get your ass whooped to the point your damn ear swollen, you know you have gotten your ass whooped. I was like, and then when she said that the reason why he beat her up is because she chased him, I'm telling you, I was standing there and I was trying not to say it because my friend didn't say it. It was me. I was like, you chased him. And she was like, yes, I did. I most certainly did. And I was like, you know, you're sitting there thinking, you stupid bitch. And I said, can I ask, you know, why would you chase a purse snatcher? That son of a bitch took something from. I was like, oh, okay, okie dokie, alrighty, because she was about to go off. Yes, I did. That's. I was like, no, okay. I just explain. I get you now. You go get her some more ice because it like her motherfucking forehead swelling up too. The bitch had two black eyes. Her fucking ear was swollen. Like she had a lump on the side of her, and I'm pretty sure under her clothes she was all black and blue. But she was indignant. How dare that motherfucker run from me? I was like, so you did all that, and he beat your. I mean, he warmed your ass, girl. He could have had all my shit, y'all. Let me tell y'all something funny. One time when I was younger, and I was working at this. I don't know what y'all call them in other states. We call them money exchanges in Ohio, and not even Ohio, because the city I work in now, they don't even call that. But let me tell you what they do, and y'all could tell me what y'all call them in y'all city. It's the place that you go to. Well, back in the day when they used to give food stamps, where you actually got food stamps, the first of the month, the line will be busy at this place. You go there, you play your numbers, you go there to cash your check. I guess in other places, y'all call it check cashing places. So, you know, usually the people who work in those, Yeah, currency exchange. We call them check cash and places. Anywho, well, y'all know usually the people that work at those be behind what they claim is bulletproof glass. So I think I was like 21 or 22 or something like that. So I was working at one. Now, y'all, they had me working the lottery machine. I ain't never played a number in my life at that age. I think I was 20 or 21. I ain't know shit about lottery. I was fucking up people's lotteries. They wanted to fuck me up. We worked right by a post office, so all the people from the post office used to come over on their lunch. I used to be fucking their numbers up left and right. so so they said, well, we gonna have to move Rachel off the numbers because if we don't, somebody gonna kill her. So now when I first got the job, they were telling me, excuse me, that this was bulletproof glass. And so I was sitting there, like, I guess with a smirk on my face. And they was like, why are you looking like that? And I said, now the people that worked in there was black. Some of them were white. So I was like, how y'all know it's bulletproof? And then they was like, what do you mean? I said, well, did they stand out there with a gun and shoot through it and where it proved that it was bulletproof? And so they was like, oh, Rachel. I said, no, I'm just saying. And then they moved me to where I was passing out the food stamps. So when I went over there, the people, like, they were saying, like, when the people come in, they're gonna, I don't remember how we knew how much they were supposed to get. I think it was this machine that told you that this is how much they supposed to get a month. So this is what the people said. This is what they told me. In other words, they was like, Rachel, you know, sometimes these people come in and just say last month they got a $300 or something, and maybe this month something happened with their stamps and they might only get 175, and they might be standing here arguing with you. They were telling me, don't argue, give them the amount and tell them to check with their caseworker. And then I was like, well, you know, and they were saying how mad some people be getting, they want to fight and all that stuff, and they be threatening the people. And then so I was like, you know, so I was like, do they be pulling out guns and stuff? Is that why y'all got this bulletproof glass? Now, mind y'all, remember, I was only 22 years old. So they was like, no, I mean, not threatening like that. And they was like, anyway, we behind bulletproof glass if they did pull out a gun or something. So I told them, I said, look, if motherfucker pull out a gun as much as y'all, because you know a lot of times in those currency exchanges, well, back in the day, they didn't always keep those doors closed. You know, the door that the people go in the back. So I said, look, as much as y'all be opening these doors for these little guys y'all be talking to that's come up here to see y'all, I said, if somebody kick past them and they got a gun, not only am I going to give them the money that they asked for, I'm giving them the combination to the safe. It's like anything they want, because this ain't my shit. I said, I'm not even to protect these people shit. They was like, oh my God. I told them if they even on the outside and y'all got the door closed, I don't know if this shit bulletproof. I said, I'm I'm gonna slide through this little thing where you slide the money, whatever they asked for. I said, until y'all could prove that this damn glass is bulletproof, they could have told y'all this shit was bulletproof. But until they shoot a bullet through it and I can, then they're gonna tell me that it's not actually bulletproof, that it just slows the bullet down. And then this security guard told me that the only people that actually have a true bulletproof is the president. And I was like, oh, see, y'all shouldn't have told me that, because let a robber come in here, he getting all this shit. I don't even see how people be standing up there trying to protect some shit that ain't even theirs. Y'all, do y'all have, I don't know if y'all have Aldi's in y'all city, or like Save a Lot. Do any of y'all know what that is? It's like a discount food place. Do you know that a person stole a pack of ground beef from Aldi's and the manager chased the person down the street? Of course, you know the manager is white. Now, this shit ain't funny. I'm not gonna laugh about this one. But when they chased the person shot the shit out of him and killed him. Let me tell y'all. if you are a shoplifter, I have been in Family Dollar and I have seen people shoplifting their asses off. Whole boxes of Kotex, whole bags of Kotex, the tampons, shampoo, deodorant. I have seen managers be in the aisles fighting over a fucking $1 lady speed stick, getting the shit stumped out of them. Do you know if I was a manager at Family Dollar, I don't give a damn what they told me. If somebody came in there and was selling, I'm not about to lose my life over no damn deodorant. Or I mean, especially at a dollar store. It, I have been at Dollar Tree. Do y'all know that everything in there is $1? I have seen managers in there chasing people out the store because somebody stole something. I said, "Look, I'll give you the damn dollar. Let them go. Goddamn, everything in here $1. You about to chase them down the goddamn street over? Um, what the fuck, y'all? Is it just me?" I was standing there, but be like, I told one manager, I said, you know, when you chase people out the store, you know, they will turn around and try to defend themselves. I said, you can end up shot or beat really bad. Why would you chase somebody over a fucking dollar? Look, y'all, that's why I couldn't I couldn't do jobs like that. I couldn't work at Now, when I was younger, I did. But have y'all ever watched these videos to be on YouTube where these people be working at fast food restaurants and they get in an argument over the person meal, and it'd be like an all out free for all? Y'all, I watched the video yesterday. I don't know what happened. Some of y'all might have seen it. It was called "Don't Fuck with My McRib," and this black guy beat up. Now it was a black and white guy together. He beat both of them up. He when I tell y'all he whooped their asses, I couldn't even watch it. That's how bad he was beating them up. The white and black guy were friends, and I don't know what happened with his McRib, but they said something to him. He tagged the white guy first. The black guy was saying, "Don't beat up my friend." I guess he went over there and beat up the black guy. Then the white guy came too, and he was like, "Oh, you over there beating him up?" Do you know that I would not be in no fast food restaurant talking shit to? You got fast food employees that have, I've been in stores where they jump over the counter and beat the customers up. Now, granted, the incident that I saw, the customer was being really rude to the little girl. Y'all, she leaped over the counter. I stepped aside. Y'all know I'm black. You know, we don't want to get in the way. That little girl warmed that white woman's ass. I was on lunch, went to Wendy's. And you know how Wendy's, you stand to the side waiting on your food? And we were all standing there waiting on our shit. So we got a bird's eye view. This white woman was up there arguing over some shit. The little girl was like, "Look, ma'am, I have told you that whatever she said to the white lady did something." And I think the white lady had slapped her. I think the girl was trying to show her something on her receipt. And the people in the store said the white lady slapped her, because I was wondering how she ended up on the side. So they said the little girl jumped over the counter. All I know is I ran over there to look. I was like, "Nah, this shit is hilarious." And this was at a time where my phone was in the car. You know how you be like, "Damn, I am never one of those people that can film shit happening." Literally, they broke out fighting. The little girl jumped over the counter and beat the white lady up. I was like, "Oh my God." But see, where we were, she was going to jail. Yeah, the little girl was going to go to jail. But I guess she was like, "It's worth it," because she whooped that white woman's ass. Y'all, I don't know here lately if it's that these white people feel that I don't know. Do they think Trump gonna materialize when they acting crazy and help them out or something? But they getting a little bold here lately, y'all. I was wondering, like, if I get in a situation where something like that was to happen, I'll be fighting with everything I got. No, they would just have to beat my short ass because they not gonna be talking to me. I keep telling y'all, I'm not even 5 feet tall. I'm about 4'11", but I'm not going. I'm serious, y'all. They gonna have to kill me because if I go somewhere, if I'm in a restaurant and they acting crazy, um, and I also another thing, like I also when I go to a restaurant and if I have a white waiter or waitress, I don't be trying to talk shit because I don't want them spitting in my food and shit. I be trying to be real nice till I get my food. Then I don't even if I complain, I don't want them to bring me out nothing else. Give me my money. You know how they be like, well, let us cook you something else. No, give me the money. I remember me and my this guy that I was dating, we went to a restaurant and he got a baked potato. And you know how a guy get a steak, a baked potato, blah blah blah. Y'all, you know how the baked potato be wrapped up in aluminum foil? As he started to unwrap it, he realized that the potato was rotten than the motherfucker. The only part of the potato that was not rotten was the part when they first slit it, and you know how they squeeze it to make it fluff up. But as you know how you start forking it and you're trying to scoot some over, he was looking at it and he was a particular motherfucker anyway. So when he started looking at it, I was like, is everything okay? Because he was one of them type of people that just was a little extra when you went to the restaurant. Um, but this time he was right. So you know how the waiter comes back up to your table and be like, how is everything? He was like, my steak is, he said, it's still barking or something. He said his baked potato was raw, blah blah blah. He named everything. His he said his pop only had one ice cube in it. He was like, so they was like, oh sir, I'm so sorry. So first they looked at the potato and the potato was so raw, y'all, that I mean so rotten that as he started to peel off the foil, it smelled rotten. Like I don't know why we didn't smell it when they first brought it to the table, but he was fighting not to throw up. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to not only give him another meal, but they wanted to give me a meal too, because they said that because I was saying when he opened up the foil that it had made me ill too, and that I couldn't eat my food either because when he when he did the foil, the smell wafted up, and I was like, you know how you be like, and I was like, take my food away too, because you know how you be thinking. And so they were trying to give me another meal. He was like, yes, I want another meal. I said, are you crazy? I don't want shit else from now. I said, all this complaining you done. And it wasn't that I thought he was wrong, but he turned the restaurant out. Literally, when he got finished, everybody in there knew what was wrong. So I'm of the belief that they not about to go back here and hork and spit in my shit because you done showed your natural ass. Give me a coupon for the next meal when I come in. And he was like, well, I wanted he wanted his meal right then and there. He wanted another meal. So when they were like, ma'am, would you like us to bring you something when we bring him something else? I said, no, I'm gonna sit here and watch him eat. 'Cause I don't want nothing else. Give me my coupon for my next visit. Give me that. And they was like, you want some water? I was like, nope. Mm-mm. They said you want a soda? I was like, definitely not. I said, at least if y'all spit in the water, might be able to see that. But if y'all hork and spit in the Pepsi, I won't even be able to see. They was like, ma'am, we wouldn't do nothing like that. But the way he showed his natural ass, I'm pretty sure they was like, go in there and just throw him some shit. My son, my son, y'all, when I go to the restaurant with him, he not, this is how he's extra. Okay, let me give y'all a sample. I'm the type, I know what I want. and just give me that. I don't need no extras. I'm not about to ask you, how are y'all cooking that in butter sauce? My son is extra. We go to this restaurant that you go there for breakfast or whatever, and that's all. They just serve breakfast. I think they might serve dinner too, but it's one of those little mom and pop restaurants. So it's called Nancy's Kitchen. Now he used to get off work like at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So he said, Mom, I want to come and get you for breakfast one morning. So I was like, okay. So he was like, and it was this place I want you to go. And he said they serve really good breakfast food. So I was like, okay. So I think I was meeting him at his job and following him to this place. So yeah, that's how it went. So we get there. Now while we were going, he was telling me that it was a small place but they make really good food and all of this. And he was like, they cook the food right in front of you. So I was like, okay, y'all, when we get there, this restaurant was so small, it probably only hold like 20 people. Literally, when they say Nancy's Kitchen, basically it is like a grill and it's all these chairs around. It's like you're sitting at somebody's kitchen table and they're cooking for you. That's how big the restaurant is. So not only that, we were the only black people when we went in there. As soon as you open the door, I was like, oh my God. You know, no, that's what I said. So I was thinking, oh shit, all these damn white people. And so it's so little that it would have looked funny if we turned around and went back out. So I was like, okay. Y'all, we were so close that when you sit down at this little table, your legs and arms are touching the person next to you. And you, it's not no saying that you're gonna be sitting beside each other. So when we went to sit down, these people scoot over so me and my son could sit beside each other. At first I was sitting between a guy that had on a white guy that had on the cowboy hat. And then I was sitting on the other side of me, it was just some older white guy. So one of them scoot over so me and my son could sit beside each other. So we ordered food. Now this is my son. The lady came out and she was like, the first thing they ask you what you want to drink. I say water, and some orange juice or something. So the lady was like, we have orange juice, coffee. What else did she say? Tea or something like that. Wait a minute, she didn't say tea. No, she said we got orange juice, coffee, something else. And so my son was like, I said, give me some coffee and some water or something. My son says, give him some tea, some shit the lady ain't even say. And he wanted some warm honey. I said, I was sitting there, I was like, what? So the lady, she was writing it down and she was like, what did you say? He said, yes, I would like some tea and warm honey on the side. That way I know if it's warm. To him, I said, are you okay? She ain't say that they even had tea, motherfucker. Y'all, this boy is stupid. The lady was like, no, we'll get him some tea. We'll get him some tea. I said, y'all gonna warm up some goddamn honey too? Because this motherfucker said he wanted his damn honey warmed up. She said, yeah, we'll warm it up for him. And I told her, I said, look, just give me some orange juice, water, or whatever the shit I asked for. I said, I'm not all that extra. Then, okay, so they warmed up his goddamn honey. The only reason why I told him not to be worried is because they was doing it, like I said, in this kitchen. You could see everything. They were doing it right in front of you. So then they come back, and you know how you get an omelet, and it say it got peppers, onions. He was like, what other vegetables can you put in it? The lady was like, well, what other vegetables do you want? He was like, what about some broccoli? Now this breakfast now, y'all. He was naming all this shit. I was sitting there like, motherfucker. And I was embarrassed. So the lady was like, "Is that your son? You said that was your son, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You raised him like this." She was like, "Well, don't try to act embarrassed now." I couldn't do anything. Another thing, do y'all have meat markets where you live at? Like a place where you go and you point out the meat, and they get you, like you'll say, "I want 2 pounds of chops, and I give me 5 slices of whatever." I went to this meat market. So he was looking at the prices and everything. He's so damn cheap. He was like, "I don't want nothing." I said, "You don't see nothing in here that like nothing." So we go, I'm buying shit. I was like, "Oh, they got roast beef. It's blah. Oh, I'm gonna get this, and I'm getting me some chops, and I'm gonna get this." So now I think the people in Michigan know what I'm talking about when I say rib tips. Well, anybody black might, y'all know what rib tips are, right? So he says while we're standing there that he said, "I might buy something if they had rib tips." So the butcher had heard him. And so my son the guy was like, "Well, what did you say?" He said, "Oh, well, if y'all sold rib tips, I might buy some." So the butcher was like, "Explain to me what they are, and maybe we can make it happen." So he was explaining, it was the tips of ribs. So the guy was like, "Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. They normally don't sell those, but I can cut you up some." So my son was like, "Okay." Now they done went and got a whole slab of ribs and cut him up some tips. Cut him up some shit, probably about 4 or 5 pounds of shit. They bring it over in the bag. He looked at it and he said, "Who is that for?" Now this is my son talking. The guy was like, "It's for you. You said you wanted some rib tips." My son was like, "I didn't tell you to cut up all that." So the guy was like, "Man, what you talking about?" And so my son held up his fist. He said, "I only need about that much." The guy was like, "Wait a minute, motherfucker. We done cut up this whole fucking slab of ribs and you only want a handful?" And so he was like, my son was standing there, he was like, "Well, I'm a single guy. Why would I order all 5, 6, 7 pounds worth of shit? I ain't got no family." He was like, "And if I wanted that many ribs, I could go to the Chinese food all you can eat place and pay $8 to eat for 5 or 6 hours." I was standing there, y'all. I was like, "No, I don't know him." So I said, "I'm leaving his ass." I walked down. They were standing there arguing with him because he was arguing. He was like, "Man, I'm not saying," now this is my son, "I'm not saying I don't want any. I just don't want that much. I just only want a handful." So I walk on down. I said, "You know what? I don't even know this motherfucker. He ain't with me. I don't know what happened to him at birth." But I walked down because if these people done chopped up a whole damn rib fucking with him. So where they have, now anybody in New York might know what I mean by this. Knockworts, Polish boys. We call them Polish boys in Cleveland, but it's like a knockwurst. Anyway, so they had these in the bag. And because I come from Cleveland and these are big in Cleveland and I live in this little town right now that don't know nothing about them, I saw some that look like Cleveland. So I was like, "Oh my God, they're only $3 a bag. I'm gonna get me some of these." So my son, by this time, he done made it away from these people that were over where they had chopped up this whole damn slab of ribs, and he only wanted a handful, and he only got his handful too. He argued with them. Child, they gave him his handful. So he comes around there with me. I was like, "Get away from me, because you already done embarrassed me once." So he was like, "What are you talking about, Mom?" You know how they talk. I said, "Okay." So I'm getting these bag of, we call them Polish boys in Cleveland. I'm getting this bag of Polish boys. So I tell him, I said, "Scott, don't these look like Cleveland's Polish boys?" He was like, "Yeah, they really do. I think I'm gonna get me some." So I said, "The bag only $3 and some." I said, "Boy, you can eat on these for a long time." Why, when they came back over there to ask him what he want, he asked them could they open up the bag and hand him about two. Now they don't sell this. This is like a pack of hot dogs, y'all. I was like, boy, they ain't about to open up no damn bag and give you two or three of them. What the hell are you talking about? He was like, why would I buy all that? I'm a single guy. I don't need that whole bag. They give me about two or three of them. He just super cheap. And before, it used to embarrass me going shopping with him, but it's funny. My mother has gone with him. He's so cheap and so frugal that it's actually funny. Like it'll be a gallon of milk. He'll be like, how many bowls of cereal is that? He's just funny, y'all. It just cracks me up. And then the fact that I, because whoever he is, it's because of me. And that's what I was saying the other day. Whoever your child is, or some quirks about them, some of the shit you can blame on, they've been out in the world, and the world has conditioned them. But some shit you got to take responsibility for it. And that's when I was saying that's where that being spoiled, and how when they were growing up, if one of them didn't like ranch dressing and the other one liked French, and if they didn't like grape jelly, you only got strawberry. If they didn't like this, that's where that shit come into when they get older. Because when I was standing there, when he was telling that lady that he wanted, y'all, it's one thing to go to a restaurant and say, I want some tea and can you give me some honey? But to tell them to heat the shit up, I was like, even when the lady walked away, I said, as his mother, I said, can I ask you a question? Because he wasn't even flustered. He sent that bitch off to do his bidding. I said, why you want to heat it up? Why did you tell her to heat it up? He said, well, you know how when you pour cold liquid into something that's hot, it take a while to melt. He said, I don't just want the honey to be plastered right in the middle. So I figure if they heat up the honey, I was like, you're sick, right? I said, you got fucking issues, right? He was like, why are you saying all that? Because I want my tea. Like, he was getting at it too, like, because I want my honey heated up. I said, that's weird. Usually I said, I'm surprised they doing all this, because usually they just bring you the container and set it in front of you. How you gonna tell this lady to go heat your goddamn honey up? I said, I can't wait to see how they bring it to you. They actually gave him, how when you go to a restaurant and they give you the little silver, like, and they have your milk in it, they actually gave him a half a thing of honey with heated up. I was like, boy, so only thing I could think is the people must have squirted it out the fucking little bear that y'all, child, look. But this what I say, I must have did that to him. I was sitting there looking at him like, oh my God. And so everything they were asking me, like if like, how you go somewhere and they be like, we have a special called the big breakfast. You're gonna get 2 sausages, 2 eggs, 2 potatoes, whatever. You know how they had those. And I substitute this for that. I was like, the lady, when she turned to me, I said, look, just give me what come with it. He done enough substituting for the both of us. The lady was like, you get toast too. What kind of toast you want? I said, sugar. After all the shit he took you through, whatever kind of bread you want to bring me, just bring it. I'll eat it. I'm not going to tell you what kind. I can eat any kind of bread. I said, it don't even matter. He was talking about how they make the potatoes. What do they put on it? Scrambled hard eggs. He want his sausage cooked this way. I was sitting there like, damn. Like, this is my child. But the waitress that she had a good sense of humor. And so when she came back to the table after it was all over, I told my son, I said, you need to leave her a big tip, because all the shit she did for you, I'm your mother and I wouldn't even do all that. And the waitress was laughing. And I said, why every time when he asks you all this extra stuff, I said, I'm his mother, and I'll be done slapped him in the hand after a while. And she said, it's not what he's asking, it's because it's the way he's asking me. She said he's being so nice and he just knows what he wants. And she said everything he's saying, ma'am and please and thank you. And she said, and just because he's doing that, it's making me want to do it for him. I said, girl, and it was a white lady. I was like, you better than me, because I don't care what he said. I would not be heating up no goddamn honey. I said, you want your fucking honey heated up, then you, and he didn't even eat like the, remember when I told y'all he was asking about an omelet and it had like peppers and shit? He didn't eat the vegetables. He made them find some broccoli and shit. Now, you know, I told y'all this is a, oh, I think this is him coming in. Scott? Oh, y'all, it is. Okay, well, hold on. You know, I was just talking about you. Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't bad. It was, you remember when we went to Nancy's restaurant and you asked some people for some damn hot ass, you remember when you ordered that tea and you wanted your fucking honey heated up? Oh, you know, he didn't even try to. I was telling my subscribers about you and how extra you are when you go out to places. And you remember when we went to that meat market and you wanted those people to chop you up some rib, oh, he said it, rib tips, and you told them you only wanted a fucking handful after they done sliced up a whole damn half a cow for you. You don't remember that? I do. Yeah, you need to. I know they think I'm crazy. Can you come here and co-sign? Now listen, I'm gonna ask him a question. I'm on like live. Scott, say your name. Say your name.
What up? This is Scott.
Don't try to act cool. They know you ain't cool.
I'm cool.
No, you're not. Okay. Do you remember when you went to the restaurant and you asked the lady for the hot what was it, honey?
Yeah.
And she bought it, and I told, when they was asking me what I wanted, I was like, just give me whatever y'all got. I'm not doing whatever bread. You remember when you told that guy to cut up that whole half a goddamn cow, and he chopped it up, and you then told him you only wanted a handful?
You gotta tell people how you want to be treated.
They probably can't hear you. They got, what I date Trump. Girl, please. Okay, what else did you do? Oh, remember we went to the restaurant and we was getting an omelet and you was asking them what vegetables they put in it, and you had told them to put broccoli and shit. All that shit in there. And I was sitting there looking at you like, the fuck, they didn't even, bitch, they didn't even say they had all this shit. Eat the goddamn vegetables that's in it. Why you got it? And what way do y'all cook y'all potatoes? And oh, and remember we was at that meat market and you was like, I got that bag of Polish boys, and you was like, can they just open it and give you 2 or 3? I was like, oh, he got problems. More or less.
It is all true.
I told you. And I also said that the reason why he's like that, I told him, is because you're spoiled, even though you don't think you are. And you remember when I asked the lady why was she doing all that stuff for you, and she said because you were nice asking her that shit. Well, y'all, as you can see, I have company, so this is going to be the end. Anyway, I told y'all I didn't plan on speaking this long, and I appreciate all y'all showing up for me again, since YouTube won't let me upload my videos. So y'all take care. And this look like the fastest way to talk, so I might not be doing videos no more. Who is this saying, what would you date Trump? I'm not even gonna answer that, because anybody that watch my videos know the answer to that. And what type of company? So I'm gonna get off and talk to my child, and I will catch y'all later. Thanks for stopping in, y'all.